To make a killing, I don't care what you feeling. I know you wanna steal it. Want it, then come and get it. You want it, then come and get it. You want it, then come and get it. Hold up, wait a minute.
It's Degen Huddle time. Late, thanks to Zook. Mr. Pickleball himself taking forever. What up, Doughboy?
Mr. Talks a lot. That's what he is. Mr. Talks a lot. Mr. No structure. Everything's good on this side. We just had to wait for the little brother to get done, but now we get back in business. How you doing over there?
Good, bro. You know, it's good when you can wear your Jets jersey and feel proud to wear it. You know.
Now I imagine you had to go with the all black because the green just simply wouldn't show up, obviously, for obvious reasons. We can tell because of the green slashes.
You see the lines? Yeah. It's
Mike
funny, bro, because
I knew it the whole time.
Everything I have, bro, for the Jets on screen. You got my arm that's transparent. You've got.
I didn't even notice that. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's my Jets glass.
The mug was very noticeable when you held it up.
Yeah.
For some reason. Yeah.
Bro, how'd you do KFFL this week?
I put up 130 and got smoked. So I lost to the guy that's in first place. So, I mean, I should have, you got to put up 150 against those guys sometimes. But, yeah, I mean, nothing I did wrong. I set the lineup. The optimal lineup was in and just didn't work. Didn't work at all. But
here, I'll give you here's my week. The idiot that I am.
Can't wait.
I messed up and I didn't take, I for some reason, when I went to switch my receivers, I put Chase in.
Okay.
I ended up losing by 8 points. I've got like 70 points on my bench just sitting there because Chase was in. Any one of my other players, I would have won by 3 or 4 points.
So that we will just call poor management.
Yeah.
That is something that you definitely have to check before the game time. We're not talking about Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's dog shit. He's a fraud. When he throws for 250 plus and 3 touchdowns, then I'll talk about him. Until then, get out of here. What's up, Heck?
Project Nerd HQ. What up, Doughboy? What up? What up, Heck? What up, bro? Look, Mr. Pickleball.
Yeah, the rich young couple down the street. I kicked them out for the night. I got the layout for tonight. But
every Tuesday night, Doughboy kicks them out and just streams from their mansion.
It's just it comes down to it, man. And like I beat myself up when I miss shit like that because I'm hyper competitive no matter what I do. So like I just don't play fantasy for funsies anymore. Like I'm very competitive. Right. But yeah, like the wife did the same stuff a couple weeks ago with Mike Williams. Was a game time decision, just forgot to check and had Tony Pollard sitting on the bench with a nice 30 burger. She ended up winning, I think, but still it's like stuff like that. You can't do that. That's just bad management. And on this side, I like the people that watch our baseball stream. I like to think that I'm a pretty okay partner when it comes to managing.
Right.
With Hector with the baseball team. We did a pretty good job so far, I feel.
Right.
But yeah, it just comes down to management and being on top of that stuff. It sucks. Like if you have to set an alarm for 12:55.
Bro, and but that's the thing though. Like I literally thought the night before everything was good that I moved my receiver to that spot. But what happened was I had that receiver in the flex.
Oh, you didn't do the flex. Okay.
Right. So it moved Jamar there. I moved the receiver to the right spot, and I was like, and I didn't notice it till after the game started. I was like, oh, cool. Let me check.
Thursday, there being 3 games on Thursday really messed that up for a lot of people. My friend did the same thing because the news about Josh Jacobs came out where he potentially might not play. And he also had Singletary. So instead of putting Singletary in the running back slot and Jacobs in the flex, he forgot. It didn't cost him anything. He obviously won, but It's just little things like that. That's what costs you wins and losses during the season.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like,
well, the worst part
obviously
is
saying, punting and thinking you know more than everyone else, and like starting like a wide receiver 4 is different. But like roster management, that's just part of it.
Yeah, but the worst part, bro, was this would have been the win to make me even, and to know that it's because of that one mistake. Like, I feel like this was that week where I'm shot. There's no chance now for the playoffs, you know?
Like,
like,
gotta play to win. Like, I'm 4-8. Like, the last 2 I lost, I scored as many points as I possibly could, and the other team just scored more. So it's like one of those weeks. But like, this is a league because of the top scorer prize. Like, there's no reason to stop setting your lineup. But also, I just would stop setting my lineup to begin with. But yeah, it just sucks, and it sucks this late in the season too when it matters most. Like, early, you can afford those like slip ups, but playoff push only 2 weeks into the playoffs, like, it's rough. Definitely is.
Yeah.
But
well, you know what? I'll stop whining. I'll stop whining about it. Let's check out Sleeper's top performers this week, bro. Bro, you mentioned Josh Jacobs. I was shocked when I pulled this up. Well, he's in points, bro.
I did partake in watching the game. It was miserable the first quarter or so, but
yeah.
Pay the man.
Yo, Jacobs with 48. Josh Allen ended up with 31. Sanders ended up with 31. Jalen Hurts ended up with 31. Herbert with 30. Jefferson 29. Godwin 29. St. Brown 28. Zay Jones at 28. Kyler with 27. We have people putting up some points.
Zay Jones, the almighty, the man's that I hate. He was my man early in the season because he was getting 10 targets, and then when I put him on the list, 4 targets, 5 targets, nothing. Take him off the list. Say I like Christian Kirk last week, and Zay Jones goes ballistic. So,
and I was going to talk about that with you. I was like, the 1 week that you didn't have him on your waiver wire list. And again,
believe he made it again. He made it this week because he's still under 60%. But like,
everybody watching the show,
this week, I guess.
If Zay Jones is available, he's back on Doughboy's list. Do not pick him up because now that Doughboy says it out loud, he's not going to score crap.
Well, it's weird. I don't know. That whole offense is weird too because Evan Ingram lost all his targets also, and it's like,
yeah, dude. And I had picked him up
really weird
at the right time. He did good those 2 weeks in a row for me, and then boom, non-existent.
I did watch that game. That was a pretty nice game. My man Trevor Lawrence won me a little bit of ETH on a side bet from Jungle, who's unfortunately not able to be here with us tonight, which is okay.
That's right. So Jungle will rub in your face that you did lose to Doughboy,
and the Seahawks lost to overtime to the quarterback with the most overtime victories in the last however many years he's been in the league. But you can still keep calling him average at best. That's fine. I understand. It's going to be a salty win because you guys see me next week too, bud. Hopefully he doesn't rewatch these, but we'll get it out there somehow.
Well, he's out there checking out schools for his kids, so good reason to miss tonight's show.
What a responsible adult.
Seriously, man, this adulting stuff. But you know what? I'm starting to learn. I've only got 2 years till my last one is 18. So do I at that point no longer have to be an adult? Like, what happens? Like, I'm ready to find out,
bro. I'm pretty sure when your last offspring hits the 18 mark, that's it for you. Like, no more daddy, I need money. No,
right.
More daddy,
you know what?
daddy,
I can tell you that's
that's what my dad did to me.
False.
My dad had no problem hooking me up. Like, he gave me his credit card when I was before I was 18. Like, if I need money, hook me up with money, as he should. My man's, as he should. But at 18, it's like, all right, you know how to make money now. Go do it yourself. So like, I always.
All right, then maybe I'm just an idiot.
It's different though. It's different though. My father also didn't allow me to sleep. Like, when I stayed at his house, I was up at 3:30 in the morning working. So like, I wasn't allowed to sleep. So he taught me like work ethic and discipline and shit like that. I don't like to rely on other people. So I feel like most people should be that way. But unfortunately, the world is not that way. But yeah, you don't have to rush with the checkbook anymore. You just have to rush with, yo, pops, how do I switch this part that makes my house work again? Or like, how do I change this over?
You switch gears,
Oh, you need money? I'm sorry, you're breaking out. I can't hear you. Talk to you later.
Look, I
See you
figure
next
one day
holiday.
I'll learn. One day I'll learn the word no, but at this point they don't get that one.
It's a hard word
too
to
much.
understand and to teach.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. Top
I have to
scores
have
of the week coming in. Number one, Shane is legend, 175.53. Dizzy, second place with 172.40. Sir Pizza dropping that 171.67. Big Sean, 169.97. And Swatzilla, 166.73.
I feel like I've seen Big Sean's name on here before. Maybe not last
You have.
week, but like
Yeah, he's been on the top scores. But Shane killed it, man. 175.53. And you guys know on this show, I like to reach out to our $300 winner. Take it away, Shane.
Hey, fellow Degens. I guess if you don't know, now you know. You're looking at the latest KFFL week winner, high score winner here. I think we can probably use this video again for next week, the week after, just ongoing if you'd like. So I'm sure the wins are going to keep coming here. Obviously, I'd like to thank a few people. First, Casey Jones 41 for giving me a shout out last week when he won, kind of rubbing in my face a little bit. So I've countered back here to take first place, and I'll see you this week, Casey Jones 41. Also, like to thank everybody who made fun of me for drafting two quarterbacks, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert. It seemed funny at the time, but guess what? I'm in first place, and I was able to trade Mr. Burrow for a little Waddle over here. So appreciate that. Also making fun of me for drafting Brian Robinson because he was shot. And people can come back from being shot all the time. Brian Robinson's doing it. Of course, I'd like to thank my backfield, Chubb, Derrick Henry, J.K. Dobbins is coming back. Of course, Brian Robinson, being excellent additions to my core team there with T.J. Hawkinson and A.J. Brown, Waddle, Devontae Smith. They just keep coming. Of course, a special shout out to Garrett Wilson for making this a big week and making it easy for me to pick him. I'm sure that's going to keep coming, and so I'll look forward to collecting these prizes for the next few weeks. All right, thanks, guys. Good luck.
Yeah.
Great speech. And you know what? You got $300, bro. $300. That's great, though, that he ends up winning the week after the shit talking from last week. That's so good. And now they go head to head. I think we need to get both of them on the show next week, bro.
Yeah.
Casey Jones and Shane. I want to see how that matchup goes.
If they actually play each other and if they're actually in the same league, then that's kind of nice. And that we should definitely spotlight some of that stuff and just keep that in mind for like
check that out.
Well, I'm sure next year people will take this a little bit more serious and the trash talk will be more out there, more call outs. But I feel like
look, I'm still hoping. I've got 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Maybe I'll get lucky and pull off the highest score one time so I can at least recoup the money put into the league. If I can just get that, it'll be okay. And I'll be happy. I'll be happy. And then I can sit there and be like, I won something.
Being able to win a high score and pay for your league entry and still make money on top of it, it's just nice. Just real nice.
Here's Shane's lineup. This is what he had this week.
The 1 week Herbert comes back and actually plays like a quarterback. The son of a gun. Herbert's been a stinker all year, but he did look good on Sunday. It did benefit him very much so. Yeah, that's the first like 20-point plus game since week 1 and week 2. Like he's been $4 Aaron Rodgers bad for a long time, but yeah, that's good. It's good to wake up. Yeah. Chubb.
How about my boy Garrett Wilson, homie? How about some Garrett? Like you said, Mike White, right? He's the truth. That
sometimes you just need to put some swag in there. The kid. Listen, if Zach Wilson doesn't work out, I don't know whose fault it ends up being on, but I for sure, obviously, am not in a fan. I'm not in the huddle of what he said at his press conference about like you are the captain of the ship, bro. Like, take some responsibility when you hit the iceberg. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't see it. Okay, yeah, it's on me. I fucked up. I should have got.
I mean, it's one of those situations. To me, it's like
leadership.
You can put a lot of it on the whole age. Yeah, I mean, you can put a lot of it on the whole he's young thing, but. I think this is, what? I love the fact that Salah and JD are saying, hey, no one, just the statement of no one's above the team is huge. When you're sitting your number 3 pick and you're saying, hey, you played like dog doo-doo, bro. Sit down.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. And I learned,
then,
like, that's just how it is in life. If you get thrust, like, obviously the age is huge, but like you signed up for this. You know what I mean? There is no more, like, you're a professional now. The day that your name gets called on draft day, like, you are a professional, and from there on, you are expected to have a different attitude, like, until like you prove that you're, you know, what you are. But yeah, I just don't like. I'm a lead by example person. Obviously, that just doesn't fly with me. But yeah, I like what Mike White did. Came in, added some swag to the team, got some targets out there. People who weren't getting targeted, threw the ball, like, wasn't scared. Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, it's one of those situations, especially for the Jets fan base. It's like, hey, we have receivers that are asking for trades because they didn't feel that they were getting. And then look what Mike White does. Like, it looked like a whole different team. And now it's like, hey, look at our receiving core. We told you we got some weapons there.
The weapons were there.
Performing the way he does. I don't know if we see Zach again.
Probably not this year, maybe, and maybe they let him fight it out next year in training camp or something. But like,
I think the minute Mike White loses, they bring him back. Yeah,
it would have to be like 2 in a row, I think. But at this point, we're almost over with the seasons. But yeah, I don't know. I like they have weapons, but I can't ever suggest using them, and because like when Joe Flacco was quarterback, obviously all he did was throw the ball, so you could just start any wide receiver not named Elijah Moore, and everything would be great. But it looks like,
I mean, I played Garrett Wilson.
So.
Yeah, Garrett's on my team. I was happy about it. Well, you know what, bro? Since we're talking about quarterbacks, can we jump a little bit on your waiver wires? I want to bounce around a little bit tonight, if that's cool.
Yeah,
so here's what you got the list going on. Speaking of White, he made your list. Oh,
he'll make snap. It. If he's gonna throw the ball like he did, then he's gonna be beneficial for fantasy. I didn't see who they have this week. I don't know if it really matters. I'm looking it up right now. I'm being very terrible at this. Y'all get Minnesota. All right.
Oh, you're talking about who the Jets have? Yeah, we've got.
I should have just asked you, but yeah,
it's going to be tough.
At Vikings. I mean,
I don't know. I feel like the Jets.
I was streaming.
We played Mike White that way. Yeah.
So I'll put it this way: I got Daniel Jones, and I don't think I can start him another week. I don't think I can.
Who the Giants?
So I'm looking at the 2 quarterbacks that are available, and if Jordan Love gets the start, then I want one of the 2 studs up top that are just like a spark for the offense that gets shit going.
Right.
Because like that's just good. It's just good stuff all around.
I've only got one problem with your list.
That's fair.
And that's that damn Watson pick. I still a big believer he shouldn't be playing. Period. Get out of here. Like, he shouldn't have any time.
I'm also, again, we just go back to being the responsible thing and making responsible decisions after you're being a professional. Like, yeah, obviously the 4 game was laughable. So they made it a 10 game, which I guess is fair. But they also timed it perfectly that where he comes back and faces Houston his first week. So, you know, be that as it may.
No marketing ploy there, not at all. But I do appreciate the fact that with you being the waiver wire guru for fantasy, I do appreciate that you put personal feelings aside, focus on the fantasy side of it, and he could put up a lot of points for them.
Yeah, I mean the only downfall is it's hard to take the reins away from Brisket after the last game too. Like he has momentum, and it just how much chemistry does Watson have with Cooper, Donovan Peoples, like Njoku, like that's the only thing that like scares me off of it. But the fact that he can run, it's beneficial. He can run and figure it out. But yeah, I mean I don't know if I'm a plug and play on Watson. I know a lot of people have been waiting for it, but if you have like someone if you're starting a quarterback who's outside of the top 12, then Watson it is, you know. But yeah, I like Lawrence this week again. I like Lawrence in general. I've liked Lawrence all year. It's just been they started to figure him out, and when he gets the shitty matchups, and when he's at home, I said it last week. Something's different when they play at home against good teams. That team is completely different. Like that Baltimore game was nuts.
He's in that Florida sun, bro. He's just
I don't know what it is. Like it's all the vitamin C. Like it's helping. But
that game was a lot of fun.
Whenever
too.
they play,
that
at
was
home,
a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then they get the Lions this week. So that honestly could be a 400-point game between Jared Goff and Trevor Lawrence. So like those
Who
are
did
two
Lions
shootout
just
games.
beat? They just beat someone this weekend, right? Who was it? It was on Thanksgiving. Did
The
they
Bills.
just win?
No, was it the Bills? Damn, I can't even remember that far back. Holy shit.
Lions. No, they lost to the Bills on Thanksgiving.
No, they gave them a run for their money.
They gave them a run, yeah.
But again, that was a high scoring affair. This will be a high scoring affair. So either of those two is a fine play if you can get to him. Jordan Love, if he starts, I'm gonna try and play him over Daniel Jones. I don't think I have a shot at Watson because he's owned. And Mike White is probably up there. If I can't get any of the other guys, Mike White's a consideration. I don't know who's on bye this week, team-wise. The what team is this? No, that's not it. My bad. I'm trying to get the bye weeks as well.
Oh, you're good. So, bro, I know we have Love on the list, but I saw that Rogers said good report came back on the McAfee show today, and the ribs are fine. So I'm guessing he's probably going to start. So we don't see Love get thrown in there, right?
Yeah, I'm still adding Love. Like even if it's this late, like if they make, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. They play Chicago. See, that's the thing too. It's like obviously he was hurt enough to not finish the game.
Right.
They play Chicago, then they have a bye week. So like it would make sense to not play Rodgers, but it also makes sense to not play Rodgers because you only have 4 wins. And you have a first-round pick quarterback that you've drafted and has sat on your bench for 3 years now. This is the 3rd year. So it's obviously like a watch and see. But if Rodgers doesn't play, Love is like a start for me. I don't think Rodgers should play again. But
you said they have what? The Bears this weekend?
They get the Bears this weekend, and they're on bye week.
Okay.
And
so I mean, I see what you're saying. If the injury's even there, why risk it, right? You already got 4, but with them only having the wins that they have, it's like, okay, well, you probably want to stick with Rodgers.
He's not a must-have, but like I said, if it leans towards Rodgers not playing, like I don't know. I'm not a GM for football, but I'll tell you this right now: 4 wins and we're in week 13. Thanks, Rodgers. I've seen everything you've done for me. I appreciate what you did for the franchise. Like, we're giving the kid a shot. Like, that's the rest of the season should be Jordan Love. Should be Jordan Love.
So here's the text in my group chat, and we were talking about the Aaron Rodgers stuff. And one of my buddies says, even if Rodgers is healthy or not, I think they play him this week. If he loses, and ironically, I feel they might want to lose, so then they can say, okay, thank you very much, and start Love for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it gives them it also gives them the bye week to be like, we took an extra week to think about this, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But it just rip the Band-Aid off and get it over with. Like, at this point, just rip the Band-Aid off.
I mean, if this obviously goes the way we think it might, let's talk about Rodgers for a second, bro, because I love when you and I talk football, whether it's now or when shows were on like Tonight We Ride, where we're supposed to be doing other things and we still talk football.
Good conversation is always needed.
What do you think happens with Rodgers next year, man? Like, where do you see him actually going? I think he does come back. I don't think he retires. And let's say he doesn't retire. Where do you think Rodgers possibly goes?
In my head, if Brady retires, Tampa Bay makes the list. I think the Colts make the list potentially. Who else? I'm trying to think who's gonna be the Broncos, but like he was tied to the Broncos earlier this year, but I can't imagine. I don't know how that Russell Wilson contract works, so I don't know how that works at all.
That's something they're going to be dealing with for at least a year or two to figure that out.
If Belichick doesn't like Mac Jones, I could see him going up there for like 2 years and trying to win a Super Bowl with Bill. How that would be disgusting, but like, I could see that being a possibility.
It's funny you said Tampa. It's funny you said Tampa because one of the conversations we had earlier was if Mike White continues to do what he does and he becomes, let's say he takes the reins and becomes the quarterback for the Jets, Tampa Bay, there's rumors that they would be open to looking at Zach Wilson.
Later, bozo. Get out of here.
Right?
That's what I would say. Later, bozo. Give me what you can. Shit. Give me what you can.
Like, sure, go.
Like,
take him.
I don't know if they even do that because, like, they could still mold him. Like, it's only year one.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine they would want to give up their top 5. Was it top 5 pick, right?
Yeah, number 3.
All right, yeah. So, like, number 3 pick for, like, a bag of peanuts. Like, unless they really hated him. Like, but
right.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a crazy situation there. But the more each week, man, just the more I'm getting more and more excited about what the offseason is going to look like. Like, even, you know, not saying I'm excited about the injury or anything, but when you see someone like Rodgers and you see the way it's playing out, then you know he's about to be a free agent next year, right? You see all this stuff that's going on. It's like, okay, there's going to be some shakeups.
It's also how much longer do you want to show up to work knowing that you're not happy being there? Like the last 2 years, like he's been tied to being traded, to being cut, to him just not wanting to play. Like, how long you just put yourself through that shit before it's like,
you know, yeah, but let's be real. He hasn't helped himself there either, right? I mean, how many years in a row is Rodgers retiring? It's the talk of, you know. That
was one thing that again, when I was younger, I learned. It's like head down, mouth shut, and work. That's it. Speak when you need to, and that's all it comes down to. But like, if you're not going to do something, don't say it. Like,
do you think Green Bay's done him dirty though? Like, I feel like they've never put enough around him.
Oh, they're terrible in free agency. They always have been. They never did anything. Like Devontae Adams, them drafting him was like the best thing that happened. But like, they never targeted weapons for him. And the fact that they weren't even tied to OBJ, like, it still like boggles my mind. It's like you just don't want to help him, and like he knows that. Like he's obviously, we all see it. Like you're not gonna. It's like me. Like I'm going to work every morning, and I got a kitchen crew full of like rookies. Like, what am I supposed to do? They don't know how to use the fire. Like, are you gonna get me any experienced people? No. All right. Well, I'm not gonna deal with this too much longer. I tell you that. But like, if you're not gonna like protect him or give him weapons to succeed, it's kind of hard to have like a star quarterback just like riding away on your bench, like, or your roster rather. It sucks. Like, it sucks watching that happen too.
I feel like a lot of this offseason with them was like the writing on the wall was even more. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we know we're not going to go spend. We're not going to get a lot of weapons and stuff. We're not going to have Rodgers back next year. Let's see what we can do in the first half of the season. And then they see themselves sitting at 4-8. They're like, okay, we might have to really start this change. Let's go with Love. Let's get maybe some weapons for him.
Honestly, again, I'm not. I wish I could just be a substitute GM for like 2 weeks or something like that. But yeah, like I just don't see it. Like, you're very obviously not happy. Like, you're not gonna improve his situation. Just put the kid.
You know what,
out,
bro?
see what he has.
Only if only there was a league that lets you draft the players, call the plays, and run your own football.
Is there one of those out there?
I think we do that already, right? What's up, FCF Knights? Let's go.
Yeah, does that happen?
I can't wait.
But yeah, it's just tough. And like, again, he doesn't do himself any favors by going on McAfee show and just talking to millions of people, and then having millions of people have access to Twitter and just like you start the fire, and then everyone else just blows on the fire, and it's bigger and bigger. It's just like,
I mean, we had all these memes early before the season started. He came out looking like Nicolas Cage. He was ready to tear it up this year. I think there needs to be a new meme of him, and it's not so Nicolas Cage. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like the
4-8 is rough.
It's like you see a picture of a sailor on his first day of being a sailor, and then you see him after like his first year of being at sea, and it's just like a happy person, and just like this haggard, bearded, beat to shit dude. It's like, yeah, dude. Like, we watched the glory years, and we haven't seen a glory Roger, and not this year at all. And last year,
we watched him go from Nicolas Cage to Tom Hanks in Castaway so far this season. You know what I mean? Like, he's just aging in front of our eyes. It's tough. I can't put it all on him. Can't put it all on him, man.
No, you can't. It's never one person. Again, it comes down to like the upper management too, just never like fixing the roster, never making it, just never giving him a chance. Like now they got all these rookies. Yeah, all right, that's a tough situation. Sitting here talking about Aaron.
Hey, how about we check out the biggest spanking of the week? Bro,
oh, these are nice.
This one was good. 166. And the best part was Edge.
The Barber brothers.
Tiki and Rondé. Barber, Tiki and Rondé. What happened, bro?
That's rough.
166.43 to 65.47.
I feel like they forgot to set their lineup on that one. Maybe we'll find out.
Here's Edge. Kyler Murray. Wilson. White. Jefferson, Diggs, Godwin, Kittle, Murray, and the Chiefs.
Yeah. Diggs with a pedestrian day, and then Jefferson and Godwin just doing enough, and then Kyler back to doing Kyler things again. Rashad White looks good.
I'm going to tell you right now so we know what Tiki and Rondé did. Where are you guys? The blowout. Tiki and Rondé. Patty Mahomes.
Yep,
Nick Chubb. Darren Harris. Tyler Boyd. Mike Evans. Pickens. Yeah, they had Cade Otton in there as their tight end.
That was a 0.
That was a 0, yeah. And then they had the Pierce kid from Indianapolis.
Alec Pierce.
Alex. Alec Pierce. So those are their two mishaps right there.
I think a lot of people realize that either they learned how to approach auction leagues, or it's just not their thing.
Because I don't see a second tight end on their roster, so I think they were just kind of riding with them and see what happened. Yeah,
but I mean, a different monster, man.
Yo, Edge.
I think I have the recipe every year, but yeah, definitely congrats. 100-point spankings are nice. I did that last.
Well, the crazy part is this is the second time that they played. Edge beat the Barber brothers 2 times. The very first week of the season, when we had our first episode with Tiki, Edge came on live from a baseball game just to celebrate his win. And, man, to have the clean sweep over them, I think he did something right.
Nice. That's always nice. Come back and do it once, come back and do it again.
Well, the funny thing is we're at that point of the season, bro, where we're watching the Tiki Barbers, Tiki and Rondé go down. We saw Snapback Jack go down this week. We saw Ja go down. Like all these guys that have been doing decent and are big pros, and all of a sudden they got a little spankish thanks to injuries and stuff. So that's pretty interesting.
It's always nice when you're taking the juggernaut down and not being taken down by the juggernaut.
For real. Let's jump into your running backs, bro.
There's a lot based on injury also. Like I didn't get the injury report this week because I've been lazy. But if Travis Etienne is out, Hasty is probably the number 1 ad. He looked good in his fill-in duties.
Mm-hmm.
Have to see on Michael Carter. I don't know how bad of an injury it was, but I imagine somebody else will probably start this week over him. And it looks like
I haven't seen the last update yet.
From familiar enough, Knight would probably be that one. Ty Johnson, I think everyone's seen enough of him. He's just not starting running back. But the undrafted rookie looked kind of nice. You tell me. Zonovan Knight looked kind of good. You tell me, though. I'm not the Jets fan. I didn't watch the whole game.
I mean, I think he looked really good. I think surprisingly, and I don't get to say this often, our O-line made him look so good, too. Like, our O-line started to gel, getting pieces back. They were opening up some serious holes, but that kid looked good. And with Michael Carter's low ankle sprain, I mean, it's day-to-day right now. We won't know for sure. It's a game-time decision. They think he can play. But even if he can, if it's a bad sprain, just sit him out. Knight and Johnson can hold it down. But also Vikings run defense is pretty solid, though, isn't it?
James Robinson was a healthy scratch for y'all, too. I don't know anything more on that.
Yeah.
But that's it's kind of weird, I guess.
Yeah, especially because we just got him.
Yeah, you traded for him, didn't really use him, and then just in a healthy scratch. So we can sit up here and talk about, I don't think Ty Johnson is relevant in the run game. I honestly think if it's someone has to start next week and Carter's not out, I think it's Knight. So my monies are on Knight just in case. But we could sit here and say this, and then James Robinson goes off. You know, he's an active player, and he gets all the work instead. He's capable of handling a workload. We've seen it in Jacksonville. So that's just like a conundrum. That's if you have Michael Carter, I guess Knight is the target.
Yeah, I mean, he had 103 yards from scrimmage last week. You know, I mean, the kid looked good. Yeah, he really did. He was averaging, I think it was like close to 5 yards.
Johnson had the touchdown, but he had less touches. So, yeah, I'm definitely on the Knight train. And then I have to see what happened in Pittsburgh, but that's also another, like, I personally, and this is me, I don't like running backs on bad teams, I'll say. Najee's the outlier, but like I'm not really targeting either of these guys if I don't have to. Like if you're dead and you're fighting and you need something cool, but like they're just there for awareness in case, you know, someone misses the start, and these are the guys to go after.
How long do you think that Gordon stays on the practice squad?
I don't.
That's the plan, right? They're saying practice squad, and then they'll call him up. But I haven't.
I put him on there. I put him on here, but like Pacheco's the starting running back there now.
Oh yeah.
That is the starting running back. McKinnon is the passing down back. So to me, Gordon is literally like break in case of emergency. He's a liability. If you can't hold on to the ball, like, he's just a liability. But yeah, I just think he's there to the insurance to the rookie.
Yeah.
But I put him on there because, you know, if Pacheco goes down and Gordon gets slotted in, you want a running back on a high-powered offense, and unfortunately that would be Gordon, in addition to McKissick. Not McKissick. Yeah, McKissick. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
If you have Pacheco, add him and handcuff him because you're going to the playoffs, and that's what you want. You want your handcuffs at this point. And that's, I think,
and that's what I was about to say. If you know you're a winning team going to playoffs, yeah, and you have the room to grab them and hold them, it makes sense if they bring them up from the practice squad. But I'll tell you, man, I do like the Knight situation for the Jets that they put up there. It's not a big deal, but for Jets it is. I mean, he's the first rookie to come out and broke the record. It was only 103 scrimmage yards, but for a rookie running back in their debut game for the Jets, right? So he broke the record, 103 scrimmage. But if that line performs where it did and Carter does sit, I think Knight can definitely be useful to a couple of teams this week with some major points.
I like Knight. I didn't get to watch, like I said, I watched highlights of it. I didn't watch the whole game when it was on, but like, and anytime I saw him, like, he wasn't like avoiding tackles, which is nice.
Well, it's nice when you have, you know, completions and passes going on. You can also have a run.
A balanced offense, I believe they call that.
Wow. I don't know. I haven't been able to say that in a very long time. It's got huge.
A balanced offense.
Let's check out the leaderboard. Oh, my bad. I didn't realize
there were only two more left on there. Jordan Mason, like, that was the rookie the 49ers drafted who was supposed to be the starter in the beginning and then got hurt a little bit and then tailed off. But if Elijah Mitchell is missing time, Mason will see playing time. Obviously, we've seen it. Like, Shanahan doesn't give a fuck about your roster. He will use every single running back he has, and then whoever he wants to get the touchdown will get the touchdown. But yeah, he's worth an ad if Mitchell's going to miss extended time. And then Williams, Kyron Williams, I have on here. It's a bad running back for a bad team. He's on the Rams. He out-touched Cam Akers, and he looked better doing it, and he got the passing down work as well. It's just avoid Rams at all costs, honestly, at this point. It's really bad,
crazy
man.
To say that, right?
Yeah, they went from a high-powered offense to, like, stuck on the side of the road with two missing tires. Like, it's crazy.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, that's all she wrote for the running backs.
All right, so now I'll check out the top 5 as of right now with the KFFL. Now, guys, at the end of the episode, I'll put a tweet out with the leaderboard, and we'll also put the link to our KFFL website leaderboard. You have everything you need. You can look at every week. You can look at total leaderboard, everything. First place, Hank, 1727. Dan Fitz Dynasty, 1722. So Pizza, 1716. Dizzy 1666 got another point, bro. That's scary. And Big Sean 1659.
Yeah, Dan Fit Dynasty is number 1 in my league. So that is who he is king. He is King Knight in our league.
Yeah, Sir Pizza's in mine. He's king in our
Yeah, he literally has. Oh my god. Yeah, he has like 200 points on the person that's in second place. Yeah, he's just destroying our league this year.
Yeah.
The guy in second place is who I lost to. He has 1554. So the gap is very large. So he did pretty good, and his team is fairly stacked.
Let's see. Sir Pizza points for. Good Lord. All right, so it's up there already. The 1716. Second place in our league, 1480. He's got almost a 300-point lead from second place.
That's rough. Some people just know what they're doing when it comes. That's what I mean. Auction draft is a complete different monster because his team. I mean, he has Jalen Hurts. He obviously Pacheco is now a full-time starter, but that's one of his running backs. He has Tony Pollard, Jefferson, Christian Watson, Tyreek Hill. That's his core, and then like he had Dallas Goedert. So like he's just. Yeah, it's just good drafting. It's just good drafting. Yeah. Backups. He was even missing like Joe Mixon. Like so he didn't have Joe Mixon starting this week either. So yeah, just good drafting and knowing what to target and knowing how long to avoid certain positions until you get stuck with $4 Aaron Rodgers, That's all it is. Better draft strategy.
I'm looking at everybody that you have on your waiver, seeing who's already picked them up in our league. All right, we did running backs, we did quarterbacks. Tell me about your wide receivers, bro.
There's a lot this week.
Look, we got Zay Jones back on
we can cross the Zay Jones off because that one's gonna be a rough one, and I'm gonna skip right to Hollins. Hollins is gonna get his targets back. Waller's out, and the tight end's not getting those targets. Mac Hollins is getting those targets. So I think in pecking order is Devontae Adams, Hollins, and then everyone else. So Hollins is probably a fine flex play for the foreseeable future, assuming the matchups are good. But as long as we're going to have to be throwing the ball, then Hollins will be a beneficiary. Richie James is the only person left to catch the ball besides Darius Slayton, I believe. James got a ton of targets this last game as well. So I think it's one of if you don't need it, you don't need it. But yeah, he's coming back from injury. Last week he had 22% playing time, 3 targets, 3 catches, 50 yards and a touchdown. This week his workload went up to 70% of the snaps, 6 targets, 5 catches, touchdown. Mm-hmm. So between him and Slayton still got his targets last week, but he didn't get his double-digit targets. And then everyone else is just like whatever. So yeah, it's Richie James, Darius Slayton, and then Saquon Barkley, I guess.
I've picked up Sky Moore a couple weeks ago.
I also picked him up. Everyone's healthy again, so his targets just disappeared this past week.
The week before, great. Nice before that, last 2 weeks were nice. But
he's nice to have going into the
he's a bench
going in. Yeah, he's a bench. I'd rather have him on my bench than not have him. Where we at? Van Jefferson again. Avoid Rams. Like if you need someone to play this week, like he's elevated because everyone's dead. Kupp is out. Allen Robinson's out. It's literally Van Jefferson, Ben Skoranek, and Tutu Atwell. So if you need a receiver, and you can't do better, I guess Jefferson's fine. But if you are in that position, just have a good night's sleep. That's all I gotta say. Carter, if Mike Williams continues to miss time, the Carter, Palmer, Keenan Allen show is gonna take off. It seems now Herbert has his weapons back. At least he has his main weapon back in Keenan Allen.
Right.
So he might have a little more confidence throwing the ball because he can rely on certain players. But Carter tore up again this week. He's been consistent, but not like stellar consistent. But yeah, if Mike Williams is gonna miss time, then Carter and Palmer are probably like your 50-50s on who's going to get it. He had 10 targets this past week. Like 73 yards and a touchdown. He had 20-point week. The week before that, it was a pedestrian week. The week before that was 16 and then 10. So like 3 of the last 4 weeks he's been on. And they play the Raiders this weekend, so I expect that game to be 1.5 million points. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, it's just two bad defenses. Let's see what happens. But the only downfall, they are in Vegas. I don't know if that means anything yet. But yeah, Carter's probably a fine flex. Better than Van Jefferson if you need it. Better than the DJ Shark and Sky Moores. But if you don't
and
need
I'm a
hope
Shark
for it.
fan too, man.
I like them too.
like-
They just
yeah,
it's Jared Goff.
Goff.
It's Jared Goff. But now they're supposed to have Jameson Williams coming back, I believe, this week. I don't know if he's going to start, but that's their first round pick this year. Let me see, where's he at? Return not likely. All right, so he could miss this week, which is fine. But yeah, if your name's not Amon-Ra St. Brown, or it was Josh Reynolds for a little bit, but Josh Reynolds also came back down to earth. He had 6 targets this last game. DJ Shark is their number 2. He had 5 targets. So like this week is probably a fine week to start him just because of the Jacksonville matchup, and that could just be a complete points fest. Shark's probably also just a fine flex. High scoring games are nice when you have like the number 2 wide receiver available, and Shark should be available. Unfortunately, what he once was and what he could have been and where he is now is
Wasted.
crazy to see.
Wasted. And it's sad.
Isaiah McKenzie is the last one, but like that's not going to happen every week. It could be Gabe Davis next week also, but McKenzie's probably fine to have on your bench. High powered offense and just another weapon that they can just throw the ball to. But yeah, other than that, receivers there's a lot of ads this week. The ones I would probably target are most likely Matt Collins. I'll say Zay Jones just because the Lions matchup and it'll be DJ Shark or not DJ Shark.
Don't grab him.
It'll be the Christian Kirk show or the Agnew show. But yeah, Zay Jones, if you can get him, it's a fine week to start him as well. On paper, it is a fine week and a fine matchup. And then same for DJ Shark in that matchup as well. But tight ends, very, very shallow.
Ends here. Yeah.
Very shallow. Very shallow. Woods, he's on there because he had a stellar game and he was the tight end 1 for that team. But Matt Ryan could also go back to Mo Alley Cox being the tight end 1, but Woods looked like he was the one. He got like 8 targets, 6 catches. He had the touchdown. He looked great. And then the other 2 tight ends that normally get some action didn't have any looks at all. So that's good for me. I just got done talking about how Morrow's not getting the targets that Darren Waller was. Morrow should still get like 5 to 6 targets a game. What he does with those is
which
like
in PPR matters.
story.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know,
you're hoping that he's going to have one of those moments where he breaks it a little bit, and you prefer it being in the end zone. But
the touchdown saved in this last week. Yeah, the touchdown definitely saved in this last week.
He's super touchdown dependent, 100%.
Yes, but it's just a wasteland at tight end too.
But that's what I was about to say. I feel like that's pretty much all the tight ends, right? If you're not Andrews or Kelsey, you're rolling.
Even Kittle's starting to get. Kittle's not having to block as much as he had to earlier in the season, so he's starting to get more looks. But yeah, Foster played 100% of the snaps, had 7 targets, and the touchdown saved him. But it was 3 for 33 until then. So again, this week
do you have it there? What did Conklin end up with this week?
Conklin had some looks, but it wasn't as crazy.
It wasn't, because
he played 80%, had 3 targets, 3 catches for 50 yards. So that's an 8-point day. Like that's for someone you're looking to fill. But it's crazy as Conklin is the tight end 12 on the season. So technically he is a tight end 1. So
that says it all right there.
Who is 17% rostered now, not 19% earlier, but now he is 17%. So his numbers went down since I shipped you the list earlier this morning, which is crazy.
It's funny because if you look at Conklin's, I love reading the reports in Sleeper, right? I love to see what they have for each person. Yep. And several weeks where it was like, hey, with this Jets offense, the Jets look good this year, but you still can't trust putting any tight end in. Now, after last week's performance, it's like, hey, with Mike White there, and if we're going to see the passing like that, Conklin is a tight end 2, borderline 1, you know.
If Mike White's going to throw the ball and throw it efficiently and get touchdowns, then Conklin's definitely live.
Facts.
Like I said, I mean, Conklin was live whenever Joe Flacco was started. As soon as they switched over to Zach Wilson, he lost the spark.
Yep.
But yeah, if he's going to get it back, Conklin's a good look. But yeah, it's just that's just how bad the tight end pool is this year, where Conklin is 19% owned and he is the tight end 12 on the season. And then Hunter Henry, again, it could go the same way. Hunter Henry had a down week last week, had 7 targets this week. You know, normally he's getting 4 or 5 in that range, but if they decide to use him more, Belichick likes his big tight end, so he could be a beneficiary. But I think for me, it's probably Morrow, Conklin, and then Henry, and then Woods if I need to. But yeah, I definitely want Morrow just for this week alone. Like the fact that I don't know what the over-under is on that game, but it's probably got to be high.
I want to know, you know what, while we're talking about it on tight ends, I want to look up Hunter Henry real quick. Which I'm pretty sure he's already. It's crazy because I look at it. I mean, he had a great week, obviously, this week with that, like 15, 16 points he put up.
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, they're hoping that he'll be their Gronk, you know? And I think Hunter Henry's a
they went after him, and yeah, they just don't use him. They split between him and Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith isn't what he was before when he was with the Titans.
Right.
Like we all thought that it was going to be crazy with the two tight end sets, but it's not that at all.
I mean, Henry's what, like 6'5", 6'6"? I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's 6'5". I mean, that's the thing too. Jonnu's also like he's 6'3". Like they're both giant.
Yeah. They fit the mold of what Belichick loves with that Patriots
and he's been
style, but he's not.
Hunter Henry's been getting the
utilizing
most.
Him.
Henry's getting the most playing time. Like he's doubling up Jonnu's playing time. So it's like playing time's big, and then just have to hope that targets come. And last week it was 3 for 5 for 63 and a touchdown. So that's a 15-point day. But week before that, 1 for 1 for 20 yards. Yeah. 4 for 4 for 50. Like
it's been what, 2 games all season that he's actually been up over 10 points, I think.
Yeah, he only has 2 double-digit points.
But you know what? Again, it goes back to what we said before. You can say that pretty much for almost every tight end at this point.
Yeah. But yeah,
right? I mean, it was just 4 weeks ago. We thought Taysom Hill was going to be the tight end of the future. This man was throwing points. Now there's nothing.
Yeah, not I. But either way, the Chargers-Raiders game, the point total, the over-under is 50.5. So any free agents that we talked about are probably good targets. The Chiefs game against the Bengals is 52.5, which is huge. And then the Jags-Lions game is 51.5. So the Raiders game is projected the 3rd highest scoring game behind the Lions, Jacksonville, and Chiefs and Bengals. So there's plenty of flex options out there for this week.
Let's cover the defense. I see you got Seahawks, Browns, Packers, and Bucks.
Yeah, Seahawks get the Rams, so I feel like that should be a fairly solid, like potential 10-point game. The Bucks get the Saints, and that is actually like one of the lower projected games, which is kind of crazy. It's like 38.5 points, I think, or 39.5 points, which is very, very low. But that could be a defensive game, but I like Tampa Bay in that situation against Andy Dalton in prime time. That's a Monday night game. The Packers have
the Bears, which I think
the Browns get Houston. So that's the Miami against Houston was the matchup last week that I really liked. I'll take any defense against Houston. And then Packers was who? Chicago.
Bears.
Yeah. Again, another backup quarterback situation. Those are just the solid starts. Yeah, like all 3 of those outside of the Bucks. Like the Bucks is just Andy Dalton in prime time. Plus the Bucks defense isn't that bad. It's a division game, but the rest are just, I think, are good matchups against bad quarterbacks essentially and bad offenses. Seahawks is number 1 on my list for plays of the week, and then I don't think you can go wrong with either of the other ones. probably the Browns, and then split between the Packers and the Bucks. But yeah, I think either one of these is a fine start this week.
Yeah, no, I like the Browns call. I mean, again, going against Houston, right? So that's good. The Packers one, I just feel like I'm in a point where I can't trust anything Packers.
That's
a
fair.
good, but I just feel like I can't trust anything Packers. Like I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I'm very controversial when I have these up there sometimes, because like I had Arizona on a couple weeks ago, and Jungle was like, "Yeah, no way that's happening." I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I like the matchup." I also had the Vikings on here against the Cowboys, and that was a complete backfire. But that one was like a Hail Mary if you need a defense. But thank God nobody needed a defense, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, they had to play the Eagles, and obviously that's a hard offense to contain. So the Eagles put up 40 points. Chicago, I do not think is anywhere close to Philadelphia, Tennessee, Dallas, or Detroit, or even Buffalo for the last 5 weeks. So I think it's favorable. Plus, I think if Love starts, also like the team's just jacked up now. Like they have something to look forward to. So I think it's just a whole different mentality. But dude, the Trevor Simeon's not a starting quarterback in the NFL anymore. And if the same shit happens last week before game time where they have to go to Nathan Peterman is no better. So I feel like it's just going to be a lot of David Montgomery, and then they're just going to blitz and get to him.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, I'll stick with my Jets defense this week.
Yeah, right? I mean, if you have the Jets
keep
defense,
riding my Jets.
Yeah,
All right, before we end the show, Doughboy, I got to do. We love covering the It's Players of the Week. I love it. The Toilet Bowl Awards. Let's look at second, third, fourth, and fifth place. In second, Auto Dog, 6470. In third, Tiki and Rondé, you made the lowest score. Toilet Bowl, 6547. The Candyman, 6987. Drew Nava, 7270. But ladies and gentlemen, they have earned themselves awards, but the biggest Toilet Bowl award, I'm sorry to do it to you, Black Herb, 5267.
See,
you just gave up.
Yeah, that's a give up.
You just gave up. Herb, all right? You're getting free publicity right now on the show for giving up. Fournette.
Yeah, I mean, the Gabe Davis thing's not his fault. Like I said, Isaiah McKenzie took the show. But, like, Russell Gage, come on. Fournette was pronounced out, like, at the beginning of the week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
this was, right. But you know what? I will also say, hey, it was Thanksgiving week. Maybe, family plans, things president took over. I get it. But at the same time,
there's some other things that are more important. But, yeah, when it comes to fantasy football, it's hard for me to put things in front of it that are more important than setting my lineup properly. Not a stab at you, sir. Not a stab at you, but just in general.
No. Hey, mine was a pure technical mistake. That I can live with that. But knowing players are out a week ahead of time and you're still starting them, come on, get together. That's why you get the Toilet Bowl Award.
Yeah, you get the stinky
board.
board.
Boy, we covered everything, bro.
It was a good time.
Another week is upon us.
Yeah, short and sweet. Nice. That's and to the point.
Right. Exactly. You got your waiver wire talk. You got your highs and your lows of the KFFL week. You got to hear me talk about the fact that I suck at fantasy again, and I can't remember to put the right people in. And but hey, I still have hope to win the highest score one time to recoup my money.
We got a couple more weeks left, so
couple weeks.
I'm still trying. Like my team's starting to come around now. I'm getting closer to 150. I had 128 this week. I had 123 last week, so we're trending up. And the only stinker on my team is my quarterback position. So I just have to pay more attention to that next year when we go into these drafts for auctions. But yeah, Russ, if it was a rocky start for you this year and it was very confusing, study up on them and get ready for next year. Fantasy season's never over. The drafts start as soon as the Super Bowl ends. So Get in and get yourself up to date. But yeah, this was fun.
All right.
I enjoyed being on earlier for once and not having to scramble to get to bed. It's nice.
On that note, appreciate everybody that tuned in, hung out in the chat. We'll be posting on Twitter now with the leaderboard and the link for you to go check out the website. Good luck to everybody. Make sure you set your rosters the right way. On that note, Doughboy, appreciate you, bro. Have a good night.
Tomorrow night, bud. Baseball.
Yeah, buddy. Baseball sim. Well, you know what? Good thing you brought that up. So
Little
tomorrow
plug,
morning, here's my first plug. Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., tune in right here for the Knicks Morning Brew. Special guest, our boy Ja Rule, coming on the panel, talking Knicks and hip hop. How you doing? And then what else we do on Wednesday? We've got Fight Night Boys, 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yeah, they're back this week.
Of course, we've got our newly branded Yaba, your Arena Baseball Association, where the Knights of Degen team will be drafting tomorrow night. Did you see it? I mean, we locked down another pitcher, bro. It's official.
Listen,
We've got a second stud pitcher.
That was
a lot of work to do.
That was the recipe for success, I feel, from the moment the draft started week 1, and we followed it, and now we get to focus on our offense.
That's it.
You know? Pitching's taken care of, and now it's offense. Now we get some bats behind it.
Everybody, tune in tomorrow. We've got so much content consistently coming to you every day. And all right, for real, on that note, peace. We're out.